2020 Northern Territory Architecture Awards are proudly supported by BlueScope, Brickworks, and Dulux, Lysart, Fielders, and Bondor, Built Environment Channel, Planned Cover, and Architecture Media, as well as Gerflaw, the Northern Territory Government, QS Services, and WSP.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the 2020 Northern Territory Architecture Awards live stream. My name is Viv O'Connell and it's my great pleasure to be your host this evening. To begin, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners and custodians of country across Australia and recognise their continuing connection to land, waters and culture. I would particularly like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands on which many of the Northern Territory members are gathered this evening: the Larrakia people, traditional owners of the Darwin region, and the Aranda people, traditional owners of the Alice Springs area. I pay my respect to elders past and present. Now, this evening is the third of the Australian Institute of Architects Chapter Awards announcements. And if the last few weeks have been anything to go by, we're joined this evening by people not only in the NT, but across Australia and also overseas. So a very warm welcome to you all. And a particularly big shout out to the members who I know are gathered this evening in Darwin and Alice, hoping to catch up with you guys live very shortly. Now, despite having the smallest number of Institute members and entrants into the Architecture Awards, the NT has a long and very proud history of producing exceptional works of architecture, many of which have received national and international acclaim and gone on to influence architecture beyond the Territory's borders. In 1983, Territory Insurance Office by Stapleton Architects received a national commendation for the Sir Zelman Cowen Award. Just 2 years later, Ulara Tourist Resort by Philip Cox and Partners won this prestigious award. And that year saw the first national win by Troppo for their Larrakia Medium Density Housing Precinct 2. Troppo then went on to win a national award the following year with Glenn Murcutt and Associates for Bawali Visitors Centre at Kakadu National Park. And of course, 1996 saw Gregory Burgess receive international acclaim for Uluru Katututa Cultural Centre and of course also a National Architecture Award. Throughout the late 90s and early 2000s, national award-winning projects in the Territory included, by Troppo Architects alone, Pee-wee's at the Point, Thiel Residence and Rosac House, and by Tangentyere Design Central Land Council Regional Office. And more recently, we've seen national awards for NT projects including Mamarooney School by Build Up Design, Jack and Imber Pavilions by Inside Out Architects, Strohmeyer House by Troppo, which won a 2014 commendation, and Tropology for DHA, again by Troppo, in 2017, taking out the named award for multiple housing. And of course, last year, a team at the University of South Australia took out the National Commendation for Small Project Architecture for Fish River Ranger Accommodation. So, now that the scene is set just a little bit, let's start the evening with our first live cross. The Northern Territory Chapter President, Jenny Culgan, joins us now from Darwin.
Hi Viv, I'm good.
Excellent. Now, this is quite a different way that we're hosting the NT Awards this year. Do you have a message for all the NT members who are watching this evening?
Oh, I don't know. I think we should all be congratulated for rolling with the punches, as it were. You know, it doesn't matter what is thrown at us at the moment. We just get up and keep going. And it's sort of I wasn't a fan of the idea of these virtual awards in the start, but it's actually really cool. As a regional architect, you get to see other people's work that doesn't win awards, and that's something that's really interesting and made it worthwhile. I know we've got a small offering this year, but they're always high quality is what we do. So it's we just keep putting them out there.
Fantastic. Well, we definitely saw that in that little overview we just ran before we got you on the line. Now, you're in Darwin tonight, and I think you've got a group of members there with you in the next room. Is that right, Jenny?
Yes, we do. Yes, we've
Fantastic.
got the minister and one of the entrants.
Wonderful, and I think we'll be catching up with the Minister toward the end of the night, which is great. But before we roll into things, I was wondering if you could just introduce us to the jury this year.
Yeah, so we in our jury, because we've got such a small pool of architects, we have a visiting chair that is the chair of our jury, and this year that was Professor Ester Charlesworth from RMIT, just made an AM in the last little bit. We have Keely Quinn, who's here tonight, from Indigenous Australia, and a local architect, Andrew Svensson, from In4D Design.
Fantastic. Well, they've done a great job. Sorry, what was that?
Hopefully they'll get to actually meet each other at some point.
Yes, I did hear from Esther that they haven't had the chance to meet in person yet, so fingers crossed they'll be able to do that in the not too distant future. Now, one of the things that we've noticed in the last few weeks with the live streams is that we've been able to draw an audience beyond the borders of the state or territory that we're celebrating. Do you have a message to people watching tonight about the importance of the profession to the territory?
Yeah, well, a bit of a soapbox time, really, for me. In that, NT architects work in a fifth of Australia. The NT is huge, and I don't think people really realise that until you work up here. And it's sort of we work for the poorest 1% of the country, not the richest 1% of the country. So that's pretty different. The disadvantage is something a lot of people just don't understand until you've been here. And I think the territory, you don't understand the vastness until you've done a small plane flight for the 15th time, or driven ridiculous amounts of kilometres to a work site. And it takes passion to do that. And I think the architects up here are gutsy, brave, and very, very passionate about what they do. And so that's the difference. They create things that make a difference in people's lives. It's not, frilly and fluffy architecture. It's architecture that can create change.
Fantastic, Jenny. Well, we're definitely looking forward to having a look at the contenders in this year's awards, and I do hope you enjoy the rest of the night and get to celebrate with the members. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
I will. Thank you.
Hi, we are Darwin University design students.
And you're watching NT Architecture Awards.
Now, for those of you who are into social media, here's a couple of tags that you might like to use if you're posting about the awards this evening. And let's get underway with the very first announcement, which is the 2020 Northern Territory Student Prize. And this year, the prize is awarded to Nicole. Nicole completed a Bachelor of Design at Darwin University in early 2020. During her studies, she received the NAWIC Higher Education Scholarship and was awarded the Peter Fletcher Mode Design Prize. Previously, Nicole worked as an anthropologist in Indigenous land tenure, but had always been drawn to design and its impact on social sustainability and the environment. Nicole is passionate about tropical and regional design, and her interests extend to user-driven spaces that afford greater connectivity and a rich sensory experience. She's fond of projects that are context-sensitive and culturally inspired, believing their holistic approach fosters increased opportunities for diverse communities to thrive, both in the remote and urban settings. Congratulations, Nicole. Now, unfortunately, Nicole couldn't join us this evening, even with a live cross, but she has sent us through this message.
I am extremely honoured and humbled to receive this award. It means a lot to me because returning to uni was a tough decision and it has definitely had its challenges. The recognition makes all the hard work, long nights, additional grey hairs and super glue fingers worthwhile. I'm very grateful and would like to thank the kind sponsors, the Liveris Foundation, for their generosity, the Institute for facilitating these events, and CDU for their support throughout my study journey. Thank you.
Congratulations, Nicole, and thank you to the Liveris Foundation for your ongoing support of the Student Prize. And now let's hear from this year's jury chair, Dr. Ester Charlesworth, Associate Professor in Architecture and Design at RMIT University and Founding Director of Architects Without Frontiers Australia.
What a crazy COVID-19 year for all of us, but also what an honour to chair the jury for the 2020 AIA Northern Territory Awards. Despite the limitations of not being on site and not seeing the remarkable entered projects in person with my fellow juries Keely, Quinn and Andrew Swenson, the NT AIA jury and staff sifted through the virtual applications with aplomb. And so thank you, fellow jury members. It was great working with you. Over the course of maybe 10 Zoom meetings, we met to discuss both the process of judging the awards this year to ascertain the metrics by which we could assess the 4 projects, and then going forwards and backwards on the relative design merits, aspirations and oral presentations of the entered buildings. And what struck me most during the awards judging process as a Southerner was the passion of architects working the Territory to create a visceral community and design impact in both the program scope and design of their educational and institutional projects. And now, let's take a look at the projects entered into this year's awards.
The nominees in the 2020 NT Architecture Awards are Acacia Hill School by Susan Dugdale and Associates. The new buildings and campus at Acacia Hill School honour the school's ethos of excellence in the provision of an intensive and inclusive educational program for students requiring specialist programs. The new entry celebrates and welcomes students and staff to the school. Careful consideration of access control and site legibility provides security and independence for students. Flexible new indoor and outdoor spaces allow the school to modify its environment to suit the different and changing intellectual, behavioural and therapeutic requirements of the students. DMS Multipurpose Hall by Rossi Architects. The naturally lit sports courts at Darwin Middle School double as a space for public performances and whole-of-school assemblies. Dance, drama and band rooms with sprung floors are separated by 6-metre high operable walls, which open to create a 196-seat theatrette with tiered seating, bio box and music store green room. Through thoughtful articulation of the architecture, Rossi Architects have provided a visually engaging, layered facade that lifts the presence and public profile of the middle school. Steam Building, Darwin High School by Hully Liveris Design Company and Jackman Gooden Architects. The DHS Steam Building comprises ground floor robotics, electronics, CAD 3D studios, Fab Lab, Tech Garage, business faculty and flexible multifunction areas. The first floor has an arts, design, photography and drama focus, together with a multifunction theatre. The Hellerup Stair is an exciting unifying connector that will form a focus of formal and informal social groupings. The STEAM building replaces conventional learning and allows for the meshing of all faculties to provide easy ideation. Women's Safety Services of Central Australia Shelter by Tanangira Design. The Women's Safety Service provides crisis accommodation in Alice Springs for women and their children experiencing domestic violence. They offer safe respite and space for restoration of dignity, agency and respect. The design of the new shelter aims to honour these values. A key challenge at the urban scale was to offer both a secure barrier and a welcome civic presence. The project was developed in close consultation with the shelter's staff to understand the physical, emotional and cultural needs of the shelter's residents.
Hi, we're Huntingford Architecture and you're watching the NT Architectural Awards.
Thanks for that message, Steve. And I have to admit, when we saw that message, we thought that's very nice. But for those people who know Steve and who normally come to the NT Awards each year, I'm sure you'll agree we were expecting something a little bit different. And then we found Steve's second submission.
Hi, we're Huntingford Architecture and you're watching the NT Architecture Awards.
And that's more like Steve, and quite a good segue into the first announcement of the evening, the Colorbond Award for Steel Architecture, proudly supported by the Institute's principal partner, BlueScope.
For me, the pull of the Australian landscape is that it's got this beaten, weathered harshness. which is contrasted by these beautiful colours and soft matte surfaces. I love how a matte surface holds light, how it diffuses the light. It's absolute joy to photograph. It's like Colorbond steel matte. It's strong, enduring, yet subtle in its beauty.
And Mark Amos has sent through this message.
Hi everyone, my name's Mark Amos and I'm the Specification Manager for BlueScope Steel, the Institute's principal corporate partner. An honour we've enjoyed now for the last 35 years. I hope you're all safe, well and keeping busy in these unprecedented times. Having spoken to a few of you over this mad period, I'd say you'd embrace the changes in a typically architect problem-solving manner and are continuing to lead the collective design community forward. On behalf of BlueScope, I'd like to congratulate all the nominees and thank them for their extra effort in presenting their submissions this year, especially without any site visits. I'd also like to thank the local chapter staff who have put together this event this evening in its unfamiliar format. Now, on to the Colorbond Award. The winner of the Northern Territory's 2020 Colorbond Award for Steel Architecture goes to Darwin Middle School, Multipurpose Hall by Rossi Architects. Congratulations to Rossi and his team, and I'll see you all soon. Take care, goodbye.
The DMS Multipurpose Hall shows what's possible with the thoughtful application of Colorbond steel materials. The muted palette of colours provides a clear visual aesthetic that reinforces the strong visual links both to the surrounding school buildings as well as the history of the site, captured in the geometric shapes used in the roofline and wall treatments. Rossi architects have demonstrated a use of Colorbond materials and colours beyond the normal, daring future architectural projects to follow suit. Congratulations, Rossi Architects. And I'm joined now by Rossi Kouris. Congratulations, Rossi.
Thank you. It's a great honour. And hello to Mark Amos and thank you, Colorbond. Very exciting. I'm down in Alice Springs. I thought I'd celebrate it down here for this one. And can't thank enough the Rossi Architects team on this project. I got to thank the Department of Education, Northern Territory Government, the Institute, and obviously the school, Darwin Middle School, for fantastic clients. And obviously you can see my security detail behind me. That's the Mark Amos fan club.
Right, I can see some T-shirts there. Now, I'd heard rumours about these. Is that Steve Huntingford-Smith behind you? It is, isn't it?
Yes. And this is Miriam and she's also my security detail for the Colorbond Award.
Fantastic.
Well, it's a great honour, an awesome project, and the hard effort, the 13 years of rallying with government to get this project off the ground, and then to eventuate to this amazing facility, and to see it officially opened yesterday was an amazing experience, and to see the actual space getting used in theatre, in sport, it was an amazing time. And thank you very much for this great honour. Thank you.
Oh, that's fantastic, Rossi. I had no idea it only just opened yesterday. What was the vibe like?
Well, the official opening post-COVID, yeah.
Oh, of course. Yes, right. Oh, well, congratulations on that. And I can see you're joined there. I believe that's the Mayor of Alice Springs, Damien Ryan.
Yes.
Is that correct? Good evening, Mayor. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Oh, look, it's wonderful to be invited along to the awards again. Last year was a terrific night, although a little cold, but an award ceremony couldn't happen without Alice Springs, because we really do believe, when you look on a map, that the rest of you revolve around us.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Well said this evening.
Oh, terrific. Well, I'm glad you're there to enjoy the festivities with the members who are gathered there, and I do hope you enjoy the rest of the night. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hi,
We are
Rossi Architects, and you're
watching
the
NT Architecture Awards.
Congratulations again, Rossi. And now to educational architecture, supported by category partner Lysart. And Jean Cullen has sent through this message.
Thanks, Viv. Hi, everyone. It's great to be joining you for the awards tonight, and I'd like to wish, on behalf of Lysart, everyone in this category the best of luck.
Thanks, Jean. In this category, the jury has awarded one commendation and the named award. The commendation goes to Acacia Hill School by Susan Dugdale and Associates. The architect faced a complex set of site conditions that needed to be resolved at the same time as addressing the complex client needs. The result is a thoughtful treatment of the existing precinct to create a more coherent experience of the school. A new sweeping entry awning and corridor provides both a sense of identity and welcome, as well as a visual connection to the neighbouring primary school, terminating at the large green open space that provides an important therapeutic and multi-use space for students. Congratulations, Susan Dugdale and Associates. And the highest honour in this category, the Northern Territory Chapter Award for Educational Architecture, goes to Steam Building, Darwin High School by Hully Liveris Design Company and Jackman Gooden Architects. The STEAM building was conceived with an ambitious concept to replace conventional learning methods with the 3 A's, anytime, anyhow, anywhere, and create multifunctional spaces that encourage the meshing of all the faculties housed within. The building has been inserted into a set of existing site conditions that provides a historical context and allows the building to showcase a first-of-a-kind program that contributes to work-ready graduates. The success of the architects in delivering an exemplar of educational architecture can be best summed up in the words of the end users. The spaces make them feel like they're at a university. Congratulations, Hully Liveris Design Company and Jackman Gooden Architects. And I'm joined now by Hully in Darwin. Hully, congratulations on receiving this award. How does it feel?
Oh, I'm really thrilled for Darwin High.
Fantastic. And it looks like it was a pretty big project team that worked on this. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
It was years in the making, and it's something that we had wonderful support from the NT government. Michael Gunner supported us to the hilt with the money to do something exceptional, and we got Dr. Ben Cleveland and Richard Leonard involved to help us with the pedagogy. So we were enlightened, but we had a school in need, and we had a wonderful school board to work with. The Department of Education were wonderful supporters of the project, and DIPL were wonderful supporters. So all round, it was a project that needed to happen, and it was well supported by the community. And we were blessed, and we had strong support within our team. Steve Huntingford was a key player in the team, even though he doesn't look like the part at the moment. It was a wonderful, deserving team.
Oh, that's wonderful. And Hully, what do you love about practicing as an architect in the Northern Territory?
You've got to be an all-rounder, and you've got to be able to do anything, and that's the lesson that's coming out of COVID. We need to return to the days of when you could do virtually anything, very small or very large or in between. We have to all become all-rounders, and in Darwin, we're used to it. In the Territory, Alice Springs and in between, we're used to dealing with adversity, and we've got big challenges here. So welcome Australia to adversity, and welcome to becoming all-rounders.
And have you got your team there with you tonight, Hully? Are they in the other room?
We've got representatives of Darwin High. We've got the chair of the board, Peter Anderson, and also the chair of the Building and Master Plan Committee, Max Ibrahim. So, yes, we've got a good representation on a small footprint because of COVID.
Yeah, of course. Well, look, it's fantastic that they could join you this evening to be part of receiving such a prestigious award. So congratulations once again to you, your clients and the project team. I hope you have a fantastic night.
Thank you, Darwin High, and thank you, the Institute.
And we will be back in just a moment after these messages from the award sponsors.
When it's time to build on quality that's proven in Australia's harsh environment. Build on Lysart, steel roofing and walling. Style. Experience. Excellence. You have it all when you choose Lysart, steel roofing and walling. Insist on the best. Insist on Lysart.
Dulux Wash and Wear for a superior washable finish. If it's worth doing, it's worth Dulux.
And before we move on to the announcement of the Indigenous Community Award, we have this message from Grant Melville, representing the Institute's major national partner, Dulux.
Hello everyone. At Dulux we recognise that innovation, quality and the use of colour are important aspects in the building process. We are pleased to be able to support the Australian Institute of Architects Northern Territory chapter, and we congratulate this year's entrants.
Thanks, Grant. And now to the Indigenous Community Award, which goes to Women's Safety Services of Central Australia Shelter by Tangentyere Design. The architects have successfully transformed the facility into a shelter that offers both security and a commanding civic presence from the street. In addition to providing safe respite, restoration of dignity and respect to those finding themselves in need, the transformation of the shelter has changed the way staff feel about coming to work. The success of the architect's involvement can be seen in the range of built forms, materials and colours that combine to provide spaces for women to come together, to talk and support each other, while enjoying an oasis of greenery and tranquility, punctuated by children at play. Congratulations, Tangentyere Design. And I'm joined now from Alice Springs with Robyn Shaw. Robyn, thank you so much for joining us this evening and congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'm just so overwhelmed and so happy. It's a surprise and it's an honour to win this.
I have to admit, when I read the jury's citation, I was really struck by the importance of this project and how great an impact it had on the jurors who assessed it. Can you tell me a little bit about what it was like for you and the team to work on this?
Oh, I don't know where to start. There were so many challenges involved. The existing building was quite a conglomeration of all different building forms and very oppressive and almost prison-like. So it was a great opportunity and a privilege to be involved in this and to rearrange the spaces and try and assist the women and the people who work there.
And I did just ask Hully what it meant to him to work as an architect in the Northern Territory, and we're picking up on a few themes tonight about, the resilience and the importance of the work that you do. Can you tell me a little bit about how you feel working in this space in Alice?
Oh, gosh.
Sorry to put you on the spot there.
It's so different. Yeah. It's very different to working on the East Coast or the South. I came up from Melbourne, so up here there's the influence of the Indigenous people in the community, which brings up many different aspects that traditionally, perhaps on the East Coast, people don't need to think about or deal with. So it's been a privilege to be in Alice Springs and to work in the space.
Well, that's wonderful.
And particularly with Tangentyere Design.
Yeah, well, yes. As we saw, they've gone on to, or have won many, many awards over the years. Are you joined by the other members of your team tonight? I know COVID-19 has got, restrictions in place, but are you celebrating with anyone there?
Yes. In particular, Stephen Sains is here, and I think Andrew Brothman is also watching this online, but he's not actually here. So we're going to have a good night, I think, celebrating.
Wonderful. Oh, well, look, congratulations to you and your team on a very, very well-deserved win, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. From Gadigal Country in Sydney. This is the Fulcrum Agency with a shout-out to Tangentyere Design in Robyn Shaw. You're watching the NT Architecture Awards. Enjoy the evening.
And now to the People's Choice Award, which this year attracted a total of 262 votes. And without any further ado, the People's Choice winner is DMS Multipurpose Hall by Rossi Architects. Congratulations once again, Rossi. And we'll be back after these couple of messages with the final announcement of the evening, the Tracy Memorial Award.
Field is made.
made for the contemporary.
Made for imagination.
Made for style.
Fielder's Made. Made for inspiration.
QS Services have been a sponsor of the Australian Institute of Architects for many years and are extremely pleased to do so, and our support will continue. QS Services are pleased this year to celebrate being in business for 30 years and thank our colleagues at the Institute of Architects for their ongoing support. We take this opportunity to mention that after several years in the making, the succession plan for QS Services is now underway, with myself gradually phasing out over the next 18 months or so, with Stanley Southwood taking over. Apart from that, nothing else will change. I hope you all enjoy this year's awards night, as it will be truly unique. Thank you.
And now, the highest honour that can be bestowed at the Northern Territory Architecture Awards, the Tracy Memorial Award. First awarded in 2000 to the Lolly Houses by Tangentyere Design. Recipients over the past 2 decades have included National Exhibition and Community Centre, Dili, East Timor by James Cubbott Architects, Darwin Football Stadium by Jackman Gooden Architects, Charles Darwin University Chancellery Building by Hassel, Alice Springs Revitalisation by Susan Dugdale and Associates, Bullocky Point Education Precinct by Mode, and last year's recipient, MPH HQ by Susan Dugdale and Associates. So, without any further ado, the winner of this year's Tracy Memorial Award is Steam Building, Darwin High School by Hully Liveris Design Company and Jackman Gooden Architects. The Steam Building at Darwin High School stands as a building responding to a complex set of needs and aspirations, much like the students who now use the building. Upon a first reading, many of the complex spatial concepts addressed in the building can be missed, but like a book, upon further investigation, the success of the building to meet the brief begins to unfold in sometimes unexpected ways. This project not only stands as an exemplar of a new paradigm in modern educational architecture and associated teaching practices within the Northern Territory, but does so in the broader national context. Congratulations, Hully Liveris Design Company and Jackman Gooden Architects. And we have Hully once again in Darwin. Hully, congratulations on receiving this very prestigious award. What would you like to say?
Oh, what can you say? It's a very prestigious award, and it's really an effort from a long way back. We went to school there, and we suffered at the hands of a 1960s type of architecture that was detached from the landscape. And we assembled a team, Steve Huntingford and I. Steve was instrumental to the project. We had wonderful support from the school. We had wonderful support from our government that backed the project right from the beginning. From board level right through the staff of the school have worked in adversity for many, many decades, and the students have suffered at the hands of the inappropriate architecture and landscape, and they have produced a cohort, an alumni around the world that run corporations, that run businesses in China, internationally. This humble little school in Darwin and we're a firm believer in the public education system. The government backed us, the school backed us. We had a great team. We had a great builder, Sunbuild. We're all locals. We proved that things can be done locally, and it was just something very special. And ultimately, as Dr. Ben Cleveland said, when you go to a school, you ask the students, where are your favourite parts of a school? And at Darwin High, there weren't any. And this is one of those sticky spaces. It's a paradigm for the future, for micro-manufacturing and work anywhere, anyhow, anytime, not the 3 R's anymore. So it's for the students and it's for the staff, it's for the community, it's for our place.
And what kind of impact do you think it's going to have on students going forward, Hully?
Well, you can see it in their demeanour, and that they can now work in bed, as our kids are doing now. They can work on a park bench. They can work lying down. They can work in a train station. They can work on a wharf bench. They can work anywhere in any team worldwide. That's what the STEAM building will do for students at Darwin High. You can take an idea, you can make a business plan, you can pitch it to your peers, and you can go straight into milling and making prototypes. You can micro-manufacture from home. It's giving them the ability to think that from school to tertiary to the worldwide stage, anybody from Darwin can contribute to the necessary problem solving that we are facing right now. So this building will enable it, and thank you all that helped us along the way.
Well, that's wonderful, Hully. And one last question. What do you think it means to the clients for this project to receive this award?
Well, it's going to be a challenge because we're facing massive challenges worldwide now. We never expected these types of challenges, but it's just the new paradigms and the new series of adjustments that we will need to make. And pedagogy, schools, teachers, students need to adjust. The students are already there. They're working in parametric software right now. They're working in things that we would never have dreamed of. So the school community will, in time, learn the real possibilities of this building. And it's just a simple structure that allows anything to happen, anywhere, anytime.
Well, that's wonderful and a fantastic example of the transformative impact that great architecture can have. Thank you so much, and congratulations once again to you and the design team.
Thank you all, and to the Institute.
Now, Hully, I think we have standing there with you very close by for a bit of a wrap-up, Raquel Nichols Skene, the NT Executive Director. And Raquel, I believe you're joined as well by the Deputy Chief Minister, Nicole Manison. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, Minister.
Thank you.
Now, what a great night celebrating the architecture in the Northern Territory this year. Any concluding comments from you both?
You go first. Well, firstly, I just want to say a big thank you to the Australian Institute of Architects Northern Territory chapter, because right now is a time when we need to be celebrating the really good stories and to see just such inspirational work done here in the Territory and the passion of this industry to make sure that Territorians can enjoy the opportunities that are ahead of them with some wonderful architecture, some great buildings. I think Hully's story about Darwin High School was someone as a member of the government to have seen that project through to the commitment of funding and then to hand it over to the care that has been put into making sure that our students have a world-class school and facilities. It's just such a nice feeling to see what can be achieved. But to get the best results, we need the very best architects. And Hully, well done. And to see all the passion of all the award winners tonight, it just makes you be so proud to be a Territorian.
Yeah, very well said.
That's certainly true.
Sorry, Raquel.
Very parochial here, Viv. So we know that we kind of punch above our weight in terms of what we do, but and you've seen that what we've done over the years. And I think our relationships to work with governments, with schools, with everyone that we work with to get things done, I think that really shows in all of our projects.
Absolutely. It's been an absolute pleasure to look at those projects tonight. And I understand there's going to be a few celebrations happening. Raquel, can you give us a bit of background as to what's happening tonight and in the future with some of the members up in the NT?
So we've been obviously running some different events and things online where we are, and we will continue to do that because there's a big take-up. We were actually going to work with some local restaurateurs. We're going to work with Hahnemann to deliver packages to people's homes. But as you know, we are officially COVID-free, and we have the opportunity tonight. We will be heading into Hahnemann, both in Alice Springs and Darwin, to taste the amazing Jimmy Choo's food and actually celebrate. And we know we're privileged to do that, and it's just a fantastic opportunity for us.
Oh, that's fantastic, guys. Now, are there any final wrap-up comments or people you'd like to acknowledge or thank, Raquel?
I would really like to thank our local sponsors and our national sponsors. They are the people that help us get to where we are. They support our members in their creativity and where they're going. And I think we really need to recognise the relationships we have with people here our ability to dream big and deliver to some of the most incredible people with some of the most incredible challenges. And I really wanted to thank all of our team here and some of our team nationally, and you guys, thank you for helping us to put this on. But more than anything, we are really keen to celebrate Northern Territory architects and actually go out and have a really great night.
Well, on that note, I will leave you guys to it. Congratulations to you all and have an absolutely wonderful night.
Hello to everybody at the NT Awards night. Trust you all have a great night. The awards go down well and everybody's happy with the outcome. I look forward to seeing everybody on my next trip to Darwin. Good night.
And that brings the Northern Territory Architecture Awards to a close. I'd like to thank you all for joining us this evening, wherever you may be, as we've celebrated architecture in the Northern Territory. I'd also like to take this opportunity once again to thank the national corporate partners and the local sponsors for their support of the Institute and the awards program. Thanks so much, and thanks to those who've sent through messages for tonight. And a reminder that the Institute of Architects award season continues. I do hope you join us next Friday night for the Western Australian Architecture Awards, and we have quite a few coming in the weeks following, so check out the Institute's website for a little bit more information about what's coming up. In the meantime, have a great night, stay safe, and see you soon.
You've been watching the 2020 Northern Territory Architecture Awards, proudly supported by BlueScope, Brickworks, Endurix, Lysart, Fielders, and Bondor, Built Environment Channel, Planned Cover and Architecture Media, as well as GERFLAW, the Northern Territory Government, QS Services and WSP.